Hey guys, welcome back to another video series. What I'm going to cover today is nutrition, supplementation and lifestyle. So again, here with the athletic development hierarchy, we can see that nutrition, supplementation and lifestyle, along with circadian rhythms and mental, emotional, spiritual health, make up the foundation of the athletic development hierarchy. Now, circadian rhythms and mental, emotional, spiritual health will be videos I'll do in the future. But essentially what we are looking at is just going to be nutrition, supplementation and lifestyle. So I have a PowerPoint in here, just here on my computer that you can't see, and I'll probably flick through that a few times throughout the few videos. This will probably be a long enough video series as well, but again I'll split it up into different parts. So the first thing we'll start on is that there's three ways that I personally look at the body, and this isn't, like, I didn't invent this. I kind of, first place I actually read about this was in Leon Chado and Judith Delaney's book, the Clinical Applications of Neuromuscular Therapy books. Essentially, they say three ways to look at the human body. There is a biochemical way to look at the human body, a biomechanical way, and then there's a psychosocial, psychological way to look at the human body. Okay, so if I actually just go here to my PowerPoint, and actually biomechanical is the first thing on here. So biomechanical, we're essentially talking about the structure and function and movement quality of the body. So again, postural habits, training habits, and the sport you play will be things that will have a big bearing on that area. Biochemically, what we're really looking at is all the internal interactions that go on inside your body, and basically anything that will have a major influence with regards to the biochemistry of your body. So that will be things like your nutrition, supplementation, circadian rhythms and cycles, environmental toxins, your mental, emotional and spiritual health. People really don't think that their thoughts can actually influence their physiology. Of course it does. When you get stressed out, you produce more cortisol. You produce more cortisol in your sympathetic state. That's exactly how a thought just made you produce or had an effect physiologically on your body. Training can have obviously biochemical impacts on your body, and then basically anything that can contribute to genetic expression, to hormonal regulation, and then eventually genetic expression at the cellular level. Psychologically, now anyone who's heard me speak before has heard me say this. I believe that the vast majority, or a lot of mental health issues, the vast majority of mental health issues have biochemical influences or factors as their root cause. So what I mean by that is things like really poor gut health, really poor protein metabolism, essential fatty acid deficiencies, really poor blood sugar regulations, food sensitivities and intolerances, heavy metal toxicity, things of that nature. I believe that those things have a huge contributing factor, and in some cases are the main contributing factor to mental health issues. Now that's not to say that I believe every single mental health issue is mainly caused by biochemical issues of the factors that I just named there. But I do believe that a vast majority of mental health issues, again, depression, anxiety, bipolar, etc., I do believe the vast majority of mental health issues have biochemical influence and factors as their root cause, and I believe that all mental health issues definitely have biochemical factors as a main, or as a contributing factor. Maybe not the main contributing factor, but as a contributing factor. The other thing that we really need to look at with regards to psychological health is developmental conditioning. Developmental conditioning is essentially the environment that you grow up in those very first few years of your life, anywhere from up to 8 to 10 years of your life. So that's kind of your developmental conditioning. This developmental conditioning essentially shaped your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind can be your best friend or it could be your worst enemy, depending on what sort of beliefs you were indoctrinated with, essentially, be that purposeful indoctrination or kind of accidental indoctrination. But essentially, developmental conditioning is when you basically download your subconscious beliefs in those first few years of your life. So essentially in those kind of first 8 to maybe even 10 years. And a really good resource on that would be Bruce Lipton's book, Biology Belief, and anything by Joseph Schultz and Pierce, where they really go deep into that. So developmental conditioning definitely is another huge component of psychological health, along with biochemical factors. So just to sum up that, actually, so I do believe that a lot of mental health issues are biochemical dysfunctions and not necessarily psychological ones. So I do believe that a lot of mental health issues, again, I'll just repeat myself, have biochemical factors at their root cause, but I don't believe all of them do. But I definitely do believe that all of them have a biochemical factor contributing to the mental health issue. But again, developmental condition is another huge one as well that definitely has a huge bearing on all of us, on all of our health and wellness, in every which way, not even just mentally, but obviously physically and emotionally and spiritually and whatnot. So there'd be three ways of looking at the body, okay? So three ways again: biomechanically, biochemically, and psychologically. So then the next question is, and anyone that knows me probably knows, okay, I understand that, but how do I know if I'm dysfunctional in one of these areas, or how, what's an objective measure to know if I'm functioning optimally or suboptimally in these areas? So there is ways that you can assess, screen, or test these areas. So biomechanically, functional movement screen if you're pain-free, selective functional movement assessment if you have pain. Again, are they the be-all and end-all? No, but they're systems I use, and I do highly regard them. There is obviously other systems out there that could be integrated as well, like DNS have certain assessments. PRIs are becoming a big thing now, but for me personally, functional movement screen if you're pain-free, and selective functional movement assessment if there is pain. I'm going to cut this video now in the next minute and then get into the second part so the memory card won't fill up on me. Biomechanical or biochemical, very simply, health questionnaires, review of health history records, functional lab testing, that would be more of an objective rather than subjective measure, heart rate variability, and I'm going to touch on metabolic typing within this video series, so I'll get into that a bit, metabolic typing, what it is and its pros and its cons and whatnot. Psychologically, now, go back to what I just spoke about a minute ago, I believe that a hell of a lot, or the vast majority, or a huge percentage anyway, of psychological or mental health issues have biochemical factors at their root cause. So I would again use everything that I looked at biochemically to see where someone with any psychological issues may be. So if I have someone who's got depression, yeah, I want to see where their gut health is at and whatnot, liver health, so I want to see where their adrenals at, their steroid hormones, protein metabolism, their gut health, liver health, oxidative stress. Do they have a parasite, fungal, yeast, bacterial infection? Are they reacting to any foods? Where is their immune system at? Because if those things are out of whack, their body's out of whack, their whole hormones are out of whack, their neurotransmitters are out of whack, therefore, if all that's out of whack, more than likely they're not going to be a very happy person at a mental, emotional, spiritual level. The one thing I will add to the psychological assessment will be neurofeedback training. And I'm going to stop the video here now because it might stop, and I'll switch back on neurofeedback training.